Hey again. So, all right, we're ready to start. Now, when you get a used tank, and again, I think you should whenever you can, if you're willing to put in the legwork to really clean it and sanitize it and disinfect it and get it ready for you to put your animal in. Now, we need to ask some questions when you buy a tank. For one thing, you need to find out, if you can, what happened to the animal in it. Did it upgrade to a bigger tank? Did it downgrade to a smaller tank? Did it have a mate in there and then the mate passed and so they put him in a smaller tank? What prompted this tank to be available? A couple of reasons. You need to know, if an animal died in here, what did they die of? Sometimes they'll tell you they don't know, even when they know. Okay, if you had an animal in here that was upgraded or put in a different style of tank or whatever has happened, then that's good to know. If you have an animal that died in here, you have no idea. Sometimes they don't honestly know. They just came in one day and, you know, their reptile was dead, and we've all had that experience, unfortunately. So they may not know what it died of. But if you can find out, try to, because that might give you some clues. Like Finian's enclosure that I bought used was a huge original custom cages enclosure that was really expensive initially. Didn't cost me anywhere near that, but huge. Okay, I asked what was in here. It was a Kimberly rock monitor. Okay, that's a pretty good sized lizard. Okay, what happened to him? He got a bigger and better enclosure. Oh, okay. So that was good to know. My immediate thought was, okay, you still need to, the process is going to be basically the same. You're still going to want to clean, sanitize, and disinfect. However, if it was a living animal, it wasn't sickly, it just upgraded. If you don't like to use something that's definitely a chemical makeup, if you're a vinegar and water person, that's probably fine. If you're a baking soda person, great. I'm going to tell you to keep the bleach out, because the chlorine can really irritate the mucous membranes in the eyes, the nose, and the mouth if you don't get it out all the way and let it air out. So I would avoid that as much as possible. However, if something died, something was ill, something passed, to the next world, or whatever it is they did, that should be your red flag in your mind. This is going to require some scrubbing. Okay. Again, those of you that have watched some of the videos, you know I'm a big proponent of beardeddragon.co, because I know anything that I get there is Bearded Dragon safe. Everything. Food, supplements, cleaning supplies, everything in there is Bearded Dragon safe, and everything has the instructions on the label, which I love. No guesswork, no nothing. The most you have to know is, how much does your dragon weigh? You should be trying to know that anyway. Hopefully you're keeping some kind of a record and you're weighing them at least monthly, maybe a couple times a month. More often if they're sick or have been in brumation. Okay, so you're going to ask, what happened to the original resident in this tank? And as long as you're just very nice and you smile and you're non-threatening, people will usually tell you. They might even say, well, he just got really sick and we didn't know why, and before we could get to the vet, died. Okay. They might even tell you they've cleaned it. Okay. May or may not be true. And maybe they did, they put in their best effort, and okay. I can tell you this was advertised as like new condition. All right, well, the metal looks good, and I don't see any place where it's warped or missing pieces of the mesh or anything like that. None of the glass appears to be cracked or broken. Okay, but it definitely needs a cleaning. I mean, it's been wiped out, but the fact that I can tell that it's been wiped out because it's got streaks where it was wiped out tells me that it needs to be cleaned again. And even if it looked sparkling, I would still do it so that I know I did it with my cleansers, my sanitation equipment, my disinfectant. So I know what went in there prior to my animal going in. If you're looking at a tank and you find out that it died of something contagious or of a parasite or mites or any of that nature, I would suggest that you thoroughly clean it, thoroughly sanitize it, put it outside, do that again in a couple of days, and then disinfect it so nothing has a chance of being alive or hanging on in there and creating a bigger problem, okay? Also, when you clean tanks, other than if you need a scrub brush, get a scrub brush that's all plastic so that you can put it in the dishwasher to sanitize it when you're finished using it. And then that way you can make sure that your brush is clean. The problem is if you use a scrub brush and you don't make sure that the protocols are followed for the scrub brush, you're going to walk around with whatever germy particles are on there, right? So better to have a plastic one that you can, just toss in there and sanitize everything. If you bring decor with you, this one didn't come with any, which is fine. I have plenty, that's not an issue. But if you bring home a tank and you've got decor in here, I strongly recommend that you give that a good scrub, especially if you see any evidence there's been poop on it, and you probably will. Also put that in the dishwasher on sanitize. I would just do a load of just tank stuff. That way you know you've got everything at the same time. Okay, now, what do you do first? Okay, so again, I use a tank cleaner that I get from beardeddragon.co. Which I put in here. You can see I label it enclosure cleaner. Okay, it's a concentrate. It comes in a bottle about this big, and it's like 2 drops or 3 drops a gallon. So this is a quart. So, drop and a half in there somewhere. I like having a concentrate because then I can decide how strong or how weak to have it be. And I use, for my everyday cleaning, I follow the instruction because that's what it's meant to do. And it's great. It dissolves anything solid. It gets rid of anything in there. It's great. However, it's even got anticoccidial in here, which, great. However, if I'm treating an animal really sick, like when I wasn't sure if Chimera had yellow fungus and then it turned out to be urine burn, when I didn't know, I had another spray bottle with 3 or 4 drops in it. I purposely made it stronger than I needed it to be because I didn't know for sure if he had something contagious or not. Okay, you want a good cleaner. So that's the one I use. I also occasionally use this one. This is the one, this is by Flukers. Flukers Super Scrub with Organic Cleaner. Dissolves organic matter. Contains all natural enzymes. Keeps cages and branches and hot rocks and plastic vines and bowls clean and fresh. Deodorizes terrariums. Okay. And this is a good one. If I have something that I can't scrape off well enough with the regular cleaner, because this one comes with a brush top, then I go after it with this one. And I love the fact that this brush top, literally, you guys, it just comes right off. Throw it in the dishwasher, sanitize it, put it back on, you're ready to go for the next time. Okay, they're both excellent. So whatever cleaner makes you the happiest, if you like the one with the picture of the bearded dragon on it, use it. Okay. And again, if you're a cleaning person and you have vinegar and water already mixed, that's great, or baking soda. But when you're taking in a tank for the first time from outside and you don't know what's happened to it, what's been in it, what's gone on, what environment it's been in, I'm going to encourage you to use something chemically based that is going to destroy most of whatever's in there. Because again, you don't know not only what was in it, but where did it sit? Was it in a house that had bed bugs? Was it outdoors in all kinds of weather? Did cats and dogs crawl all over it or get in it? You don't know. So treat it like it has the plague. Clean it stem to stern. And then once your animal is happy and safely in there, then go ahead and use your vinegar and water or your baking soda, your witch hazel, whatever your cleaning solvent of choice is for your everyday cleaning. Because you know it's clean because you cleaned it. Now you can use whatever you want. Okay, so firstly, I'm going to use that cleaner. Then I'm going to be using Clorox wipes. Now you notice this is kills 99.9% of viruses and bacteria. Well, I'm interested in the antibacterial for this situation, right? And you notice I'm also using fresh scent. Why? Because you don't smell chlorine in here. And this is a middle step. So there's not going to be anything lingering of anything that's bleach related. I'm going to do the cleaner. I'm going to use the sanitizing wipes as an in-between. Then I'm going to disinfect it with, again, the disinfectant that I like that I get from beardeddragon.co. So for the middle step, once you've already cleaned it, then you use whatever kind of sanitation equipment you're going to use. Then you're going to use disinfectant. Okay? After all of that is done, glass cleaner of your choice to clean all the area around so you can see them, they can see you, all's good, right? Okay, now, this is the disinfectant that I use by beardeddragon.co. And you see that the instructions are right on it. So it said, and I love this neon pink. I was a child of the 80s. This brings back memories. But it says, professional disinfectant. Add 1 to 2 cc's to 1 gallon of purified water. Okay, 5 cc's is a teaspoon. So we're talking, takes very little. This tiny bottle will last forever. I mean, forever. Because again, I put my disinfectant in a smaller spray bottle because I only need to use it weekly or every 2 weeks. And I use it specifically. Like I do the whole tank when I do the big cleaning. And then when I spot clean, then I just spritz on the spot, on their decor, in their bed, wherever I had to dig something out and clean it. Spritz, spritz, spritz. So I don't need a huge bottle. Now, could you make it a huge bottle? Sure. Knock yourself out. Get a big spray bottle, put 2 drops in, mix it up, call it a day. And again, where your disinfectant is concerned, you can do the same thing with the cleaner. You can decide how strong or how weak to make it when you have a concentrate. I usually put my disinfectant medium to strong because if I need to disinfect something, I want it to work. I want it to work now, and I want it to work permanently. So, and the way you can tell, because beardeddragon.co has a pink one and a blue one that are both disinfectants. They're both excellent. It's a personal preference. I like the pink one because it doesn't smell quite as... the other one doesn't stink, but I mean, I just prefer the fragrance of this one. And again, a couple of drops is all it takes. Okay, that is probably a little bit more than moderate, not quite heavy duty, but you know, and that's literally it. And so I don't have my my magnifying glass, but it tells you everything that it kills, tells you what, you know, that it's safe. Other than the proprietary ingredients, it tells you what's in it. So you just have to put it in, and because you mix this with water, you'll know how strong you've made it by the color. So when I shake this up, yeah, you can tell it's pink. That's pretty good. That's moderate. I can make it a darker pink and I can make it stronger. There have been times I've had to, but for the most part, this is more than enough strength for your regular disinfecting needs. I mean, unless you have some major thing occur that you might have to alter, right? Also, please use paper towels, napkins, handy wipes, whatever it is, something you can throw away. Okay, don't try to rewash everything that's been through here, because in the event that somebody was sick and they've had a lot of diarrhea and poop and there might be salmonella traces, I don't want you to keep it in your house. I want you to just throw it out. Disposable. It's the way of the world. And for all you people that are worried about conservation, it's paper. It will disintegrate eventually. Okay, so I'm going to strongly urge you, and like I said, unless you need a scrub brush, in which case get a plastic one you can sanitize in your dishwasher. And take your cleaner and begin. Now, most of the time, the enclosures are going to be glass or some kind of polycarbonate acrylic. Kind of depends where you get it. Who had it before you? Was it a display of some kind? Was it in a doctor's office? Was it somewhere that you know, people were coming by to see it, and so it got cleaned fairly regularly? Was it a private tank in someone's house? Was it a reptile or fish store going out of business? All of those things will make a difference in what level of cleanliness you might encounter. And remember, if you're coming across the tank, they're getting rid of it. So it's not uncommon that it's gonna need a cleaning. You just should figure, if you're gonna get a used tank, it's gonna need a cleaning. If I get a brand new tank out of the box, I still clean it, because I don't know what they did to it, wherever the heck it was from. I want them to come see, okay? And to make sure that no animal of mine gets put into anything that is suboptimal. Why? Because I love those cute little critters, that's why. So, that is my soapbox for today. And again, you know, it's a fairly decent amount of footage that you're going to have to be cleaning. So, okay, it's going to take a minute. I would say most tanks, except the really, really huge, ridiculously big ones, you can probably clean, to do all 3 steps, probably 40 minutes, 45 minutes. That should be, you know, maximum. So it's not that it takes a hugely long time, but you want to be thorough. You want to make sure, and if you get a tank, this happened to me with Merlin's tank. The person that had it before me used sand for their substrate. I cannot tell you how many times I had to vacuum that tank out before I put anybody in it. I mean, kept vacuuming, there'd be more. Kept vacuuming, I'm like, where is this coming from? Finally realized it happened to be an Exoterra tank that has the strip at the bottom that's kind of, not compacted, but it's where the latch goes through, it's that strip, has little holes in it across. Sand got in there. And every time we opened and closed the door, the sand came right back out. So, oh, you guys, I thought I lost my mind. I couldn't figure out why on earth I could not find out where all the sand was coming from. I mean, it was crazy. And I thought, this is a problem. So, be forewarned. And I think it's probably the same thing, although I haven't had to do it yet. But I imagine if you get a tank from somebody and their favorite substrate was Eco Earth, I would expect you're going to have to clean up some debris. Okay, just so you know. So be on the lookout. But you should be able to get, a majority of it out. Put the hose on your vacuum cleaner or whatever, get your dust buster out, whatever your vacuum of choice is. And just get ready to have to go through it a few times. Get all that out if you can. And if you have to do it, you will find out one of the main reasons I don't like loose substrate. It's not pleasant to have to continually keep trying to clean it out. So that is what's going on there. Now, hopefully, without too much ado, you get a good running start with the cleanliness portion of the tank. And this one's cleaning up pretty nice for the most part. I will make sure that I do the inside and outside of the tank. Hi, Gina. Hey, sweetheart. With the Windex so that it will be clear before I put it back there. Because once you put it against the wall or against the window, wherever you're putting it, it's hard to get back there, to get the outside of the tank, because the outside is now going to be against whatever you're putting it against. So hopefully, phase 2, hopefully you will remember to give it a good glass cleaning on the outside before you place it wherever it's going to be living permanently. And then you only have to worry about the outside of the sides and the front. And of course the inside all the way around. But the outside, most of the time the part that's against the wall really doesn't get dirty. Ruby is over a vent. And I do have a cover on the vent so that the air that comes through, whether it's heating or air conditioning, comes forward, not up into her tank. But it does sometimes bring with it particles of some dirt and debris that will occasionally get up there. So, well, what do? Well, a couple times a year, I just go ahead and bite the bullet, tell my husband, help me pull the tank out so that I can go ahead and clean that off of her tank. And she seems to be fine with it. She doesn't look at the wall anyway. She looks out this direction where she can see what's going on with everyone else. So yeah, that's the whole thing in a nutshell. This is already smelling so much better. I hear you, Merlin. I know you're over there. You're probably giving our friend Smolder a bob or two and acting a fool over there. Okay, so once it's clean and you're just disinfecting, it takes a lot less time. All right, now you're disinfected. Here's what I want you to do. Spray it. Spray any decor that's going in there. Spritz it on all the fake plants and everything. Let it air dry. Let it air dry. And then, while it's doing that, take your glass cleaner and finish going around the tank. Now, Gina, there's not really enough room for both of us in this chair, sweetheart. So, be sure that you get the front and the sides really good. And be sure that you do it weekly when you do your big time cleaning, because remember, this is where you're going to be gauging and observing your animal. They're going to see you. Anybody that comes into your house, they're going to see this first. So, and it's the one likely to be the dirtiest, because as you're opening the door, it's impossible not to get fingerprints on it. You're just going to. So you just have to realize that, okay, clearly I am going to have to just know that there will be fingerprints galore. If you have guests that come in, you got young relatives that, you know, maybe you have a niece or a nephew that's fascinated with reptiles, they're going to come over and put their hands on the tank. Just expect it, because that's going to happen, okay? So, you're going to do all of that. You're going to get it ready to go. And then you're going to put it in whatever location it's going to go. So while you're doing the glass, by the time you finish cleaning the glass, your disinfectant will be dry, so you don't have to even worry about it. Then you can put in your substrate, put in everything that's going to go in it. Oh, you hear that lovely squeak? That means it's getting clean. And then you can put everything in there. You can take your animal. You can put all, well, first of all, put all their decor in there, put their lights on there, literally get it completely ready to go. And then, what do you know? It will be ready. And then you can just watch them be happy that you've given them a penthouse, right? From their, whatever their little apartment was. Because let me tell you, Ruby was tiny when she got here. I mean, 118 grams, people, is nothing. I mean, that's, you know, if you have a 5-month-old juvenile, you're probably already at 118 or 120 grams. But a 20-gallon tank was too small for her, just flat out. So, I didn't expect her to behaviorally be, you know, scared or feel threatened by a large enclosure, larger. So, yeah, the 40-gallon was a no-go. However, she's been doing fine in the 32-gallon, whatever she's in right now. So, hopefully, all will be right with the world, and she will be okay. And if she's not okay and I have to put her back in there because she just can't cope, that's okay. Or if I have to wall off part of it until she's more comfortable, that's fine. I'm capable of doing that. And hopefully that she'll take right to it. She's definitely more of a confident girl now than she was before. I think we can all agree on that. So hopefully she will not be afraid to find all her new stuff in this great big tank for her. And she will be a happy, healthy girl with her own big box. So that's what I want you to do when you get a new tank. Please, whatever you do, never just bring it home, say it looks good enough, and throw your animal in it and go about your business, because how would you feel if you not cleaning the tank that you just got used was the reason your animal passed away? It would be terrible, right? So, before you know it, you will find out that you have a beautiful tank. When I get everything put in here after it dries for a few minutes, and we put it over against the wall where it's going to go, I will turn on the video so you guys can watch Ruby go into her new condo for the first time. we'll see what she does together. And then we'll decide whether or not she looks happy or whether or not she needs to, you know, maybe stay a little bit longer where she is. Okay, so thanks everybody. I hope you enjoyed the prior video. I'm sorry it was so long. I thought I was going to be able to cut the video into pieces. I couldn't do that, so I'll probably just manually break it up next time I have to film something that might run that long. So sorry, but I hope you enjoyed the information and everybody enjoyed seeing Smolder in all of his beautiful red glory. And I hope all of you have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you again soon. Bye.